It might surprise you, but Fortnite is probably my favourite game of all time. It's the game where I have the most play hours, and it's where a lot of my money has been spent. But recently I've become very nostalgic for a season I don't really like, and I don't think the community likes it either. It might surprise you to know, but I missed Chapter 5 Season 1. Now, looking back, Chapter 5 is probably the worst chapter, and I think most people would agree with me when I say that. But I think the Season 1 was actually pretty solid, and it's had a lasting impact on the game and where it's going. So today, I thought I'd talk about it. Coming on the tail end of Season OG, Chapter 5 Season 1 started on December 3rd, 2023. It was a 28 Fortnite season and it ended March 8th of the following year. It's had some good updates, some okay updates, and some controversial ones. So let's get it out of the way and talk about the problems this season suffered from. Now, to get one of the worst updates out of the way, we have Chapter 5's movement. Now, at the start of the season, I would admit it was pretty terrible. It was slow and looked weird. But by the end, I'd say we're pretty used to it, and it didn't look too bad, and they did buff the speed of it. Now, overall, I kinda like the animations, and the speed is no problem anymore. But at the start of the season, with them buffing the speed of the storm, the only way to get out of storm was tack sprinting or a car, which I didn't think was a great idea. Now let's talk about something that had a bigger impact in later on in the chapter. It's of course bullet drop. Now normally snipers have bullet drop, but in Chapter 5 it was given to all other weapons such as ARs and SMGs. So now had multiple attachments. This made a lot of weapons feel a bit weird without scopes, and aiming become much harder. But I didn't mind it in the first season as the vaults were a bit easier to get, but later on it definitely got worse as mod tables came locked into late game in the bunkers, unlike originally when it was locked at boss fights which you could unlock at any point. On the topic of weapons, the Frenzy Auto and the Reaper Sniper were also very OP. I enjoyed the sniper based meta, but the Frenzy Auto still gives me nightmares. Now, because of LEGO Fortnite, the item shop was also pretty bad, as all skins in game needed a LEGO style which was acceptable in Epic Games standards, which led to a very stale shop, who sometimes had the same skin in twice, like the day Skull Trooper was in the same shop twice in two different slots. Overall, the shop this season wasn't very good, and I think it's kind of stayed that way. We always get the similar skins, and there's not much variation anymore. Now that we've finished being negative, let's talk about this season's quite unusual and unique Battle Pass. Now for this season, the Metaverse was of course introduced, which meant customizable cars for rocket racing. One of these was included in the pass, called the Scorpion. Now I do like it, and I think it's quite interesting they've never tried to put a car in the Battle Pass again. But apart from that, we got some interesting skins such as Family Guy's Peter Griffin, which is a very cool collab. You know, they didn't do much more on it, but it is quite annoying that we only got his bus style and the giant chicken. We also got Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid as a secret skin, which is a pretty cool skin. Other skins include the Tier 1 skin Hope, which is pretty cool, Vengeance Joan, which I really like, and the Tier 100 skin Valeria. Overall, I think this Battle Pass is pretty good, and I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, and it's definitely the best of Chapter 5. I would say the Chapter 5 map is pretty good, having iconic locations like Fencing Fields and Peter Griffin's Snooty Steps and Reckless Railways. A lot of these POIs are actually pretty similar, but there are some standouts. This map started mostly covered in snow for the Winterfest event, but it did form making a dark green grass biome around Oscar's location. Apart from this, there was a hotter, more humid area and a light green biome where locations such as ruined reels were. The terrain was also added to the map this season, but it suffered from a lack of loot or seasonal updates, and it would have fitted well to have the Winterfest on it. Overall, I like the map with the train and bridges, and there are a few forgotten POIs like Rebel's Roost and Hazy Hillside, but overall, I do quite like it. But I do agree with the comments that Epic tried to make this season's map a bit too realistic, and I do think the cartoony art style works better. But hopefully that issue is fixed in Chapter 6. Now, of course, for this season, we got bullet drop. and it did make the gunplay feel a little bit weird and inaccurate. But however, we still got some of the best weapons we've ever had. So starting off, we got the Thunder Burst SMG, which proved that burst SMGs could be good if implemented right, and was very OP all the way through Chapter 5 until it was removed. We also got the Hyper SMG, which wasn't as amazing, but could beam people in the right situation. For the ARs of this season, we had the amazing Striker AR, which is really good, really strong, short, really fast, had more damage in second and mythic version than Sky's Assault Rifle. The Nemesis OK, which it was just a mid AR really, and then the Enforcer was terrible. Overall, I think the AR meta was pretty good, and I'd love to see a few of them back. For shotguns, the Hammer Pump wasn't strong enough to balance a heavy spray meta which was implemented because of the Frenzy Auto, which was very overpowered and was better than a drum shotgun. We also got the Reaper Sniper, which, as I said earlier, was really OP and made a very nice sniper meta that I really enjoyed. And overall, the weapons this season were pretty good. We also had mythics around the map like Peter Griffin's Hammer Pump, Nisha's Striker AR, and general guns like that. Overall, I think the guns are pretty good, and also the items this season got a massive buff. Now, while taking med kits, minis, shield pots, you could walk around with it, which was a massive game changer to healing. We also got items such as Flowberry Fizz, which were pretty cool, and the bosses could heal themselves mid-fight. Now, overall, I think the kind of meta and loot pool this season was overall pretty good. The medallions at the start of the season did kind of mess things up because they were so OP, but after a while I think they were nerfed too much. It should have been in kind of a mid state where you could still heal to 100 health with only one medallion. Now for this season we got two major events. We of course had Winterfest, which was pretty good. I like the Bush Ranger kind of knockoff skin, and I did like the boxy cardboard skin in Christmas style. But of course they did remove Crackshot's cabin, which I was a bit disappointed in. And then we had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collab, which was really solid. We got 4 retextured kinetic blades, their whole 4 skins, we got a Shredder mini battle pass. So overall, the little events of this season were really good. With Winterfest, we also got the Floating Island, a little update, and it was the only time it was really updated in Chapter 5. Now for this season's story, of course Peely was kidnapped by the Society and Hope and Jonesy had to get him back. But once they'd done that, Pandora's box came out of the ground with a flaming hand, which of course led up to Myths and Mortals, also known as Chapter 5 Season 2. Now overall, ever since Donald Mustard left, the story hasn't been so solid. I would say in Chapter 5 there was more of a story than in Chapter 4, but overall it wasn't the best and the story did feel rushed. Now for my final thoughts of the season, I did think it's pretty good overall, and I don't think it gets the respect it deserves, and even though it did have flaws, even the best do. For example, Chapter 2 Season 2 had a really heavy spray measure that could be seen as unskilled. But overall, I would say the gunplay after a while got pretty good, the movement became normal again after a while. So overall, I really like this season. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I hope it one day comes back in an OG type season. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you like this video, please comment down below, and maybe I'll make some more Fortnite videos on this channel, as this is my first one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.